effectively tackled through collective action on multiple levels. We are talking about a disease that is a significant threat to our national well-being. It is a disease that in the past 10 years, in this our country called Kenya, the prevalence rate has decreased by almost 50%. We're talking about a disease that keeps our children out of school and is a leading cause of worker absenteeism, causing basically 5.8, get this, million days of work to be missed every year. We're talking about a disease that annually there are an estimated 3.5 million cases diagnosed in Kenya. Okay? And it's a disease that counts for 13 to 15% of outpatient consultations. You can see how this is a burden on our health system. It is also one of the oldest diseases, and it is still one of the deadliest. I'm talking about a disease that is it's one of the top 10 causes of death and is the number one cause of death in our children between the ages of 5 to 9 years. Clearly, that disease would be malaria. In studio, I love his enthusiasm. You've got to love that, by the way, Baba. He literally came bouncing into the studio. Love him. He is a member of the Zero Malaria Campaign Coalition. This is a coalition that basically it unites partners to raise awareness and shape public perceptions about malaria. He is also a strategic PR and communication specialist. He has an extensive background managing communication projects for organizations like, and get this, man, this is a Rolodex of organizations, my friend. Tick the box, said Google. Tick the box, said the United Nations. Tick the box, said the World Bank. Okay, and he has raised, and he was raised in a malaria endemic region right here in Kenya. His personal experience, I read this story. You know, he's lost family and friendships due to this disease that we call malaria, and basically that fueled his passion for malaria elimination. In his academic research, he has focused on malaria's social behavior and communication and intervention uptake, and he is committed to advocating for the effective malaria prevention and control strategies, emphasizing community involvement and resource availability. All right? He champions the motto, and I want you to say this after me, Locke. Zero malaria starts with me, you, and us. Zero malaria starts with me, you, and us. Because he believes this goal is necessary and achievable. I give you wapile nani kwanza. You must be into the good one. I give you in studio William Dekker. There you go, brother. Will.i.am.
Yes.
Welcome, bro.
Thank you very much. Quite the introduction you have there.
Man.
I was trying to imagine, okay, who is that in this? Is it me?
It's you, bro.
Oh, wow.
Listen, William, now, obviously, I mean, for we are Kenyan, yeah? And, you know, looking at your boss, you've done some good work. Google, United Nations, the World Bank. Now, first of all, which malaria, because we don't want stereotype, because we have to go straight. Let's not assume. Yeah, all right. So malaria, obviously, yeah. You know, the number one cause of death between our kids between 5 and 9. Yeah, one of the 5.8 million work days a year. One of the top 10 causes of death, obviously, still in the region. What region is that you grew up in, Baba?
Well, I'll first of all fill in the gaps for which regions are those that specify mine. So you realize that malaria is endemic within the lake region.
Indeed.
And coastal region. That is
I was going to go there, brother.
Yes, the large water bodies. Yes. Very good breeding grounds for the mosquitoes, the temperatures, etc. So a number of environmental and climatic factors. I grew up in the lake endemic region,
right.
Homa Bay County, to be more particular.
Right.
Thank you.
Now, and then let me ask you, Baba. You've got that story, and you see, it's very personal for you.
Yes.
Take me through that journey about, paint that picture about what happened to your friend and how personal was this?
Yeah, so it's as vivid as yesterday, as we always say in compositions.
Right.
So about 2 weeks after we had left campus, I studied in Mo University.
Right.
I had a friend called Kevin, who we come with from the same region. Within Homa Bay County is a bigger context, but if you narrow it down, is a Ugis. Yeah.
Yes.
And then, so 2 weeks just after graduation, we were all excited. We all have to look for job opportunities. We need to move to the city, and then, so there's a day he gets actually his appointment letter. The bagger is super happy. He's coming to Nairobi to start work, and we share this news on phone and very excited. But towards the evening, the symptoms begin. As always, most of the time you see the symptoms just start manifesting in the evening, and he has this headache, and then fever keeps building up, and then you find that back in the village, there's always a tendency that, it's malaria, it's fever, headache. You deal with it for tonight, and then tomorrow we'll get to the chemist and buy the drugs. Yes. And in this particular case, he wasn't so lucky because the fever escalated real quick. And by around 1 a.m., we had lost Kevin,
Wow.
And you imagine somebody who is just full of potential, and the way we take malaria so casually, and we always thought that he's going to make it through the night. Fever, cool down the symptoms. And of course, there was no place you could get, let's say, drugs within a nearby pharmacy to probably manage the symptoms until the next day, or go to a health facility to get treated and tested. And since that day, that has really driven my passion and commitment to ensure that a disease that I've seen take a good friend of mine and a close friend, that is eliminated out of our boundaries in this country, in this continent, and probably in the whole world. But that is Kevin. Me personally, every time I go to the village around Christmas and Easter, as we always do, just those 2 seasons, of course, in between, I'm always sort of, in a way, cautious that probably I'm going to get malaria. It's almost like it's written that if you go home for a week, definitely there's going to be one anopheles that bites you, and you come back after a week, you're down. So if we could eradicate this thing that I see personally, it affects me. But there's also family. Sometimes you get calls for a moment, you get a bit scared that, what is it this time around? It's malaria. And then like, wait, we need to get rid of this disease and
I like that. You know, William, I don't know about you, Locke, but when in the youth, before Kapo Kwadidal, this one is a native, this one is still from there.
Yes.
So
he's not revealing something. I know him from far.
That was a job.
We went with him for Dabo in high school.
I like that. No wonder you had that to grin on your face when you walked in.
I was like,
I know this nigga. William, so whenever we used to go from here, to we're going to going home, it's always zones of prevention is better than cure. All right, so there we had our malaria queens. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then now you find that anytime somebody is ailing or feels slightly off center, it's like you need malaria. For the uninitiated, what are the symptoms that one can feel or one can see? Then you're like, that's probably malaria, before one gets to a clinic or to get medication, brother.
Thank you very much, and I like that you've added before one gets to a clinic instead of a pharmacy.
By the way, we tend to cut that step, right?
Yes. We preach the gospel of treat then, test then treat, rather than treat and then if it persists. So fever. And that comes manifests in the form of chills, fluctuation in temperatures way outside the normal temperatures of 36, etc. Some headache that just sets in. Sometimes you're having those chills, pain in the joints as well. So it manifests in these kind of symptoms, and that's to signify the fact that the parasite is on. It's doing its work. and the antibodies are trying to get rid of it. So you become the victim because there's a lot of chaos happening in the body.
Bus.
The headache is there, the temperature changes is because then the antibodies are also trying to get rid of this parasite, which is also working so strongly to ensure that it maintains its position there as a foreigner.
Okay. Now, William, over the past 10 years, our country has reduced the prevalence of malaria by is it nearly 50% in 10 years. A lot of work. Now, you've got a new campaign that you're working on, and it's called The Power of Everyone. And, you know, like his chant goes, and I like that one, by the way. It was, what was it again, Baba?
Zero Malaria Starts With Me, starts with you, starts with all of us.
I love it.
Yes.
So, we're calling it The Power of Everyone. And this is a brand new campaign. Tell us a little bit about that campaign, please.
The Power of Everyone, as itself, should be self-explanatory.
Right.
If you pick each other word, there's power in every individual taking responsibility. You look at the fight against malaria, it's not a one individual thing. It's not a government thing only. It's not a Ministry of Health thing only. It's not a medics thing only. Even you, as a member of the community, if today, Kwach, you have this fever or any other symptoms, you as an individual, you one person, has a responsibility, one, to go get tested at the facility, and then when you're given medication, to take it to full completion. You as one person has a responsibility or the power to help us eliminate malaria by sleeping under a net so that we lower the transmission rates. It doesn't move from one place to another. Probably Locke sits somewhere where he's in a position of privilege to influence the masses, to get them to take up the right interventions. That's his power. Somebody probably sits at a policy-making level at the ministry, and his ability to change how much resources are being allocated to probably buying anti-malarial drugs is his power. Somebody in the private sector has a responsibility or a power to help us eliminate malaria by contributing to the fight, which I know at some point will also help us understand that there's still a funding or a resource gap that can help us do the right thing to help eliminate malaria.
Okay, now, you know, when you look at the global north, because, you know, like you said, sometimes, you know, prevention is better than cure. Chatelo, sleep under mosquito net. But such like things. Why is it that we hear that they are global north? They are vaccines, right? Why are those not being? Why are they not forthcoming for us in the global south?
Well, there is that perspective that probably they're not coming. At this point, I'm in the school of thought that we've gotten to a point where they're coming now. So you realize more recently, for other diseases, we've had vaccines. And historically, vaccines are one of the silver bullets in eliminating diseases such as smallpox. Remember, we eliminated it with vaccines. So we've had malaria since the age of dinosaurs. But we've never had a vaccine. So for the last 30 years, scientists worked so hard, and they got us the first malaria vaccine. It has a scientific name which is complex, but I'll call it RTSS by abbreviation. So that vaccine, taken alongside other malaria interventions, then can help us rid the country of malaria. And more importantly, I'm aware that the ministry, working in collaboration with a number of partners such as the WHO, have been working to roll out the existing doses. They recently came. Some have been rolled previously. And as a country, Kenya, we are super proud that even the testing of this vaccine to ensure that it works, we are among the first countries where the clinical trials were happening. We are also among the very first countries to roll it out alongside Ghana and Malawi.
I like that. I like that, William, because because health is semi-devolved, I find that so complicated. So are those what are the challenges? Because you mentioned the ministry, so that is obviously we're talking about as an umbrella. This is at the national level. But are there challenges that on those individual 47 counties, are there challenges that they basically face in terms of fighting to end malaria?
Absolutely. No county is unique on its own.
Like
so I'll start with Lake Endemic, for example.
Yes.
It's totally different from what we call highland. So if I take somebody from Kisii County, they are in the highland.
Sure.
Malaria transmission is slightly different or substantially different from somebody within the lake region. Let's say my county, for example, or Kisumu County, Kisumu City.
Yes.
The temperatures are high. Mosquito is having a field day.
Yes.
The water bodies are vast.
Yes.
Mosquitoes are having a field day in breeding and giving us new members of their community.
Yes.
And so they bite day and night. And so there's those that bite you just when you're starting to have your dinner.
Right.
But then in Kisumu, in Homa Bay and Kilifi and Kwale, the ones that are coming to bite you somewhere around dawn in the morning, 3, 4, 5 a.m. are already transmitting the same malaria. Yeah? But you might not find that this is the same case, probably somewhere deep in central Kenya, where we are, the other counties, for example, Murang'a, where we are much closer to elimination, because you find just pockets of it.
Right.
But one thing then pops up there, that even the counties which we see that have not been disadvantaged when it comes to malaria, they are now susceptible to it. If you bring this nice buzzword called climate change.
Yes.
So then now you start giving us, mosquito is now moving to even urban areas. We have different breeds of mosquito. For example, what we call the Anopheles. Listen to this. Stephensi. Yes, so that's a new breed of the mosquito.
No, it's interesting you say that, because I think I said on our sister station, that was KTN, that the Moses, I talk about them like they're my relatives, they're my friends, that their behavior change, that now they don't come looking for you at night. Apparently they go to schools early in the morning. Is that an April Fool's joke, or this is a true story, brother?
True story. Camry down across here the coast.
My God, yes.
So then back to the question, counties differ in terms of the challenges they experience. There are those that are highest burden.
Right.
Busia, for example, has the highest burden, over 20%. So that means if you go to Busia...
Sorry, William. Why? Is it
Budalangi.
It's lake. Okay,
exactly.
Right,
and the floodings and all that.
Yes, of
course, exactly. And the temperatures again. So you find that you go to a health facility. Probably 2 out of 10 people you witness malaria.
That's 20%.
Probably sometimes, yes, exactly. Now you get it. In the past, it was probably 3 out of 10. That would be different. So it means that this county has a challenge of not just fighting other health issues or other diseases, but they have to prioritize malaria because it even kills a lot more globally. We had COVID here, and we made all the biggest noise.
We go.
Not to bring down the burden of COVID, but malaria has killed more people than COVID. Even if you were to put them side by side, malaria was killing a lot more. Every 1 second a child is dying. Okay, 3 seconds now, 3 children have just died.
Come on.
Okay, now 5. You see, if you count the seconds, every 1 second a child is dying out of malaria. And so that tells you that if a county is burdened with a disease to that extent, they have to spend a lot more resources in combating this. And that it means it burdens their healthcare system. But if you eliminated malaria, so you free up the county's burden, and so the resources that could have been put towards fighting malaria, buying nets, buying drugs, educating communities, can go towards other things, or even economic strengthening.
I like that, William. So the campaign is the power of everyone.
Yes.
Now, how are we taking this campaign? How are we reaching the Busias of this country? Like you said, and then we were the coastal strip there of these countries. How this campaign, the power of everyone, how is it expected to reach those people? And then, especially in those regions like Busia, that it's very endemic. How are we going to get those people to change their behavior through this campaign, Chetan?
Thank you. First of all, you and I are speaking in Lok, and definitely they are listening.
Yes.
So we are getting to them.
Yeah. Nail on the
head. Your sister stations, KTN, they are watching.
Yes.
Again, getting
nail head. Yes.
But more importantly, we acknowledge what we call community dialogues, interpersonal communication. We've realized over time that when people talk to each other around malaria, they take it seriously. So within the communities, we are working with what we call community health promoters. So they go sensitizing people home to home. That please, Bwana Wafula, please, today, when you're going to sleep, sleep under the net.
Right.
Bwana Wafula, if your child has fever, please don't just give them chloroquine or any other form of drug.
Right.
Please take them to the medical facility.
Yes.
Bwana Wafula, if your wife today, your wife is pregnant, please make sure that this period that they are pregnant, this prenatal period, they are going to the hospital, because we realize that pregnant mothers too are also at a high risk. It's the pregnant mothers and the children under the age of 5, because then the immunity goes down. So the campaign tries to reach them through the likes of Bwana Wafula, talking to them at interpersonal level, but also at the market we find a big billboard that speaks to you, Bwana Wafula. These things that Dekker has just mentioned on SpiceFM, please don't forget them.
Dekker, you've you talk about Wafula, who strikes me. I don't know, when he talks Wafula, I picture you, my brother. Now, no, and not to disparage you, I'm just saying, Yani, it's a guy who's joboing. He's got a young family going on.
Yeah,
and you said it, William. It's the pregnant ladies. And the youth, and the kids you said under the age of 5.
Yes.
But this disease is taking mainly between the ages of 5 and 9. How do we talk to these? I don't know if we can talk to the infants between 0 and 5. Yeah, but that age group that they're going.
Yeah.
These are kids. I mean, those are my standard 1, isn't it?
Yeah.
These are guys in early primary.
In pre whatever.
Right.
Yes.
How are we reaching them?
Yes.
And how are we educating them that, you know what, through this campaign, the power of everyone, how are we going to be talking to these people aside from Wafula?
Thank you very much. Well, I love Wafula, so I'll bring him in the picture and talk about kids. So there is something called duty of care.
Yes.
If you're under the age of 9, for example, anybody under the age of 18, for sure. So there's a parent, somebody who takes care of you.
Yes.
And I want to imagine somebody under the age of 9, there's somebody who takes care of you, changing you, gets you to sleep under the net. So the mothers, or caregivers as we call them, and even the fathers for sure, or any other person who has responsibility over these children. First of all, we ensure that we reach them with the right messaging on how to protect this child. But more importantly, acknowledging that these young people also need to be, that knowledge need to be ingrained in them even in the school. So the power of everyone has been finding a number of modalities to reach out even to the institutions of learning, so that in the school, if one day we take a Friday and just before the assembly we talk to them about malaria, trust you me, this child goes back home, and if the mom has not put him to sleep under the net, he say, but mami, kwa shule tuliambiwa wewe unieke nilale ndani ya neti. So that's how to reach those people. And we realize that if we are to change even for the future, so that the power of everyone is manifested for years to come, because if the bigger population today are the youth. The youth are still the leaders of tomorrow, and the current leaders of today probably we'd like to engrave in them the bit around malaria, let them know how deadly it is, but more importantly, what they can do in their capacity today and in their capacity tomorrow. And
when you focus on the youth, we have people like Locke, very big on TikTok. This and internationally is famous. So when you have celebrities, and influencers like Locke here, what role can we play? Myself, Edward Kerry Francis, Locke here, in basically raising awareness about malaria prevention, Jatel.
Edward Kerry Francis. Yes, I love carry forward, Kerry Francis.
You know the song. Kashakari William, I like you.
Thank you. I can attest that the feeling is mutual. Louis, I hope you interpret properly. So now, and Locke here and you and other people who are in positions of influence, your voice is truly a power that can help change a lot of things.
Sharp.
I like always bringing the science around it. That we realize that the biggest impediment, one of the biggest impediments at the community level, is that bit around lack of awareness or not taking action on the behaviors. So it means in your position of influence, you have a chance to, 1, create awareness, then 2, influence behavior by speaking out, creating awareness, by bringing people, bringing the matter of malaria attention to a lot of people. Let them see there's urgency for us to eliminate malaria. And even more importantly, urging them and even giving them the call to action on what to do. Because it wouldn't be important if somebody listened to us today after this entire show, but they don't know what they need to do. So influencers and people in positions of influence have an opportunity to use their voices to help people change their behavior, e.g. take up the right interventions that are already being offered. You mentioned a vaccine, for example. A vaccine can be there, but if you don't go for it, the vaccine will not enter somebody who needs it, you know? Somebody has to be told that, please, today is Tuesday, or today is Thursday of April, the second Thursday of April, you need to go for your vaccine.
And you talk about call to actions, William, and this campaign. First, what are we need to basically go out there and the people say take up arms, but then there's like basically let's carry our mosquito nets. Yes, it's the way that I put it, and then go and put them in our houses. What do you aim to achieve as the end goal for the Power of Everyone campaign, Dekker?
End goal is to eliminate malaria. Imagine if we eliminated malaria, all those benefits I talked about.
Sharp.
One, people are healthy, the economy is growing, students are going to school, right? Two, if we eliminated malaria, our healthcare system in a way is strengthened because we no longer have to stress on this burden that every out of 10 people, there's always somebody who needs to be treated or tested for malaria, right? That is one goal. The other goal now, which is more closer to us, is that aspect where we ask people to change their behavior. Because if we change your behavior, or if we get you to see the need to change your behavior, you actually change your behavior. So you take up these interventions. Vaccine, the drugs, you complete the dose. People take it after 1, 2, 3 days and you feel well.
Yeah. And then unawacha.
Yes. And then sasa unaanza kuleta maneno ya resistance. And then now, if we give you another drug, it doesn't work. So getting people to do the right thing, take up the drug. Having the pregnant mothers going frequently for what we call, listen to this again, IPTP.
ITPT.
Very close. IPTP means intermittent preventive treatment. So for mothers who are pregnant, because then you need it, especially because your immunity in a way is compromised. In a way, by the pregnancy, but also postnatal, taking your child for these frequent tests and everything else, right? Again, if we get you to take the right behavior, for example, sleeping under net and not using it to fence your kitchen garden. At the moment now, the government is distributing nets. They're targeting to distribute over 15 million.
Look, that sounded very familiar. You're not Nania.
For the chicken.
Okay.
Kitchen garden for the chicken. Perfect. Yes, exactly. So you're fencing, using the net to fence your kitchen garden against the chicken. Oh, say that again. And then so we get you to actually sleep under the night. You find in some homes they have 3, 4, 5 nights, but net ni ya mgeni. Sasa mtoto haezi kulala ndani ya neti. But in some other places, for example, my nice brothers at the coast, in certain areas, you'll find there are people who, if you give them the net, they say, mimi sitalala ndani humo bana, nikilala kuna majini. Some people, there are misconceptions. There are, sipumui, Louis, one of them. There are people who will say that, if we sleep under the net, we are not able to conceive. So there are those myths and misconceptions that we would like to get rid of. So another objective of the campaign is to create awareness that dispels these myths and misconceptions.
Love it. And clearly this is nationwide, William. Now, we're talking about the campaign. It starts now. It's the power of everyone. What are we doing? Are we... Paint a picture for me. Is it? Are we going door to door? There's got to be road shows somewhere. Are we going to schools? And then who was that Louis guy? What was his name?
Wafula.
Wafula. So is it Saturdays? We're going to be out there on market days. How does it come to me in a town near you? Paint the picture.
I catch my guy, Edward Kai Francis.
Yes, sir.
So you've listed everything that we are going to do. My work is done here.
I love it.
Yes,
I love it.
And I'm happy that we are aligned. So that's definitely what we'd like to do.
Right.
Get this message out to as many people as possible.
Good.
Through multiple platforms, media campaigns, at the community level, the road shows.
Yes.
Every time you walk, there's a billboard. If you were to live here and you're going to Wafula's place in Western Kenya, by the time you get to Kangemi, you'll see a billboard or probably 3 or 4 of them already. They're telling you the power of everyone should be manifesting in you, my Kwaja.
I love it.
Yes.
I love it. Now, William, what message do you have for Kenyans? I love that rallying call. Zero Malaria Starts With Me, you and us. Can make it a song, doesn't it? That's beautiful, Baba.
Thank you.
What message do you have for, first of all, do you have a handle, Baba?
Yes, at Dekker William.
Okay, so that is yours. Yes. And does the campaign...
yes.
Yeah?
Oh, yes.
Can you share, please?
Yeah, sure. So there are lots of different platforms.
Right.
One of them is the Power of Everyone. The other one is the Zero Malaria. Okay, I need to cross-check those ones.
Okay.
My colleague who has been doing an excellent job.
Right.
Yes, and yeah.
Okay, and so finally, what is your message for Sisi wa Kenya as they are listening to you right now, William?
Sisi wa Kenya tutekeleze wajibu wetu ili tuweze kumaliza malaria.
No, just pause. Did you know that there's a Luo who speaks Swahili like that?
First of all, Kwacha doesn't do Swahili.
No. You shocked me. No. Don't say it like that. I dare you. I dare you to repeat what you just said.
Sisi wa Kenya ni wajibu wetu kutekeleza majukumu yetu.
You also still sound very muzungu. Sisi wa Kenya tekeleza wajibu wetu. Kwenda huko.
Yes. So tutekeleze wajibu wetu ili tuweze kumaliza malaria. That is the definitely larger rallying call that is being manifested in the Power of Everyone.
Sharp.
That for us to get to eliminate malaria, which is zero malaria, a situation where we are malaria free, there is effort and responsibility for each and every one of us. It's the true manifestation of Zero Malaria Starts With You, with me.
I love it.
It starts with you, Kwash.
Yes.
It starts with all of us, including Locke. Yeah, Yeah, exactly.
William, you guys are doing a fantastic job. I mean, prevalence rate has decreased 50% in 10 years. And obviously now with this, the Power of Everyone campaign, obviously they can only get better and hopefully faster. My brother, and like you said, Zero Malaria Starts With Me, you and us. William Dekker, asante sana for coming through, my brother. And what are those handles again, please, bro, for this campaign?
Yes.
Can you share?
Tasha? Yes.
All right. The handles. Talk to me here. Right? Okay, so it is Zero. Why do I shove that one?
Yeah.
It is Zero Malaria Kenya. That's one word, ne? Zero Malaria Kenya on all platforms.
Yes.
Chatelo, William Dekker, thank you so very much for coming on the Spice Drive, my brother.
Most appreciated. Thanks a lot for that.
And like we said, so you know what, the onus is on you, especially that if you're a caregiver, remember, malaria is the #1 killer for our kids between the ages of 5 and 9. But man, it is pregnant ladies and indeed the youths below the age of 5 that are most vulnerable. Let's protect ourselves, let's protect our society, let's protect our children, and let us support this campaign and let's get involved. Remember, it's all about the power of everyone, and the mantra is, the rallying call is, Zero Malaria Starts With Me, you and us. You see, the way Nanis look at me is like a deer caught in the headlights. Unataka niseme? William, thanks so much, man. Stand by. The news is coming up next.
Thank you.
Spice and everything nice.